Hi, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to be looking at the flex layout, and we have been able to consider the grid, which I said the difference between the grid layouts and the flex layout is that the grid is two-dimensional, while flex layout is just one dimension, and we are going to be seeing that with practical example now. So what you just need to do is for us to see it in action, let's define a div with a class of container. Now the div with a class of container, let's just put some item in there. I can just call it class of item. I call this item 1, and let me just duplicate this to have maybe 2 or 3. Yeah, 3 should be fine. 3 should be fine. So this should be 3 and this should be 2. So now for simplicity's sake, I'm going to be writing the CSS as internal CSS. That means I'm going to be writing it inside the HTML file. So I'm going to be writing the CSS in the head tag, but it's not advisable. Like, you can just go to the CSS file and just write your CSS bar, so that we don't need to be navigating between two different files. Let's just maintain this particular file. So we'll be writing our CSS in this type tag. So the first thing you should do is that container that you want to position as your flex layout. You should don't forget that when you are tagging the class, you should tag it with dots. So I'm going to be setting display to flex, just like we have display grid. This is display flex. Now let's save and let's see what is happening on our page. Now before the display flex, if I comment this out and I save, you see that because the div is block elements, they are all displayed on a different line, on a separate line. But when you attach display flex, it's going to bring all to the same line. So that's the first effect of display flex. But so that we're going to see what we are doing practically, let's just add some border to our item. Let's set the width to maybe 100 pixel, the height to maybe 100 pixel too. Let's add some border all around it. Let's make it 1 pixel solid black. So if you save it now, yeah, you can see that we have our flex. Now this is what I want us to do now. In setting your flex, you can have your justify content. This is the horizontal alignment add, and you can take either flex start, so everything is going to align to the beginning of the flex, which is this. Now if you want it to go to the right hand side of your page, you assign it to flex, and you can see that it has been aligned to the end of my page. Now I can also set it to center. If I want it to be centrally aligned horizontally, I can also set it to center, and you see that it moves to the center. You can also have space between. Is there's going to be it's going to have equal space in between them. So you see that the flex are well spaced and they are equally spaced. And you can also have space around. So this is the opposite of space between, in that there will be equal space around the flex. So you can see that there's space around the flex, and you can also have space evenly start, end, left, right, and so on and so forth. But yeah, but the most popular one is what we have seen. And we also have this is the horizontal alignment. Now for the vertical alignment, you use align items. This is so you know that normally it's always displayed as a row. So yeah, as a row. So if you want to be displayed as a column, you just set the align item to this align item is a vertical alignment. Just like justify content is horizontal alignment, the align item is a vertical alignment. So if I want it to begin from the top, I just put it as start. So it's going to start from the top, and I can also set it just like we have for the justify content, just like we have flex start, flex end, flex, and so on and so forth. So you can also have that same values for both align item and flex start, flex end, flex end, flex. You can also have it as center. You can have it as start, and baseline, and so on and so forth. Baseline, and you can also have it as space around, and you can also have it as space between. So this is just like you can apply those values for the justify content, can also apply the same for align item. So let's try flex end vertically now. So if I want to try flex end, let's save it now. Yeah, because our flex does not have height, so it will maintain that height. So if I set the height to, let's say I set the height to maybe 100 VH, so you can see that it goes down the page. So that is that about vertical alignment, but I'm going to bring that back up. Now you can also set the flex direction. Maybe you want it to be vertically or horizontally, so you can set the flex direction, which can either be row. So it's currently row now because it's horizontal. So if you want it to be vertical, you can set it to column. So you see that you have it as column. It's displayed as column. Let me comment out this. Let me just say start. Let me set this to start. Yeah, so that is, so the flex direction too can also be column reverse. Column reverse means that it's going to pick the last item first, item 3 first, then item 1 last. So you can also have row reverse too. So row reverse, whereby you start with the last item 3 start with the last item and end with the first item. And also for your flexed items, which are the child of the flexed elements, now you can also set their flex, like how much space do you want them to take. So if I set this to flex 1 and I come here, maybe I have item 2, I can set this to maybe flex 4 or 5. Now let me come here and set this class to item 2. If I save it now, you see that the middle one will take a greater space because I'm making it take more space. Now this is flex. So if you want the item to be bigger than each other, then use this flex to set how big you want them to be. But by default, they are going to take the same size and the same space. So if you want them to take different proportion of space, then use this number to set the spacing proportion.